What happens when two strangers, guided by destiny, keep crossing paths until the universe finally forces their hearts to meet? Before you dive in, hit subscribe so you never miss another story that reminds you how fate works in beautiful, mysterious ways. In the heart of a bustling city where lives overlapped like the tangled lines of a subway map, two souls kept crossing each other's paths long before they ever realized destiny was quietly stitching them together. Zara, a quiet dreamer with a camera always hanging from her neck, spent her mornings chasing sunrises from rooftops, capturing moments that reminded her the world still carried beauty. Aiden, a tireless architect with a mind full of blueprints and half-finished ideas, lived by routines: coffee from the same cafe, a jog around the same block, a belief that life followed straight lines just like the buildings he designed. What he didn't know was that fate was about to shatter that symmetry. Their first near meeting happened on a rainy Thursday when Zara's umbrella flipped inside out and Aiden walked past, raising his own to shield her without even realizing he'd done something unusual. She looked up to thank him, but he had already stepped into traffic, lost in his world. The second time was at the city library where Zara dropped a stack of photography books and Aiden, turning a corner with his headphones in, bent down to help her gather them. Yet again, they didn't speak, just exchanged a polite nod, unaware of the invisible thread pulling them closer. But everything changed on a warm summer evening during the annual Unity Festival, an event the city held to celebrate diversity and togetherness. Zara was there to photograph the lanterns rising into the sky, each carrying a wish written by someone hoping for a miracle. Aiden attended reluctantly, dragged by his friend who insisted he needed something other than blueprints in his life. Fate doesn't shout, it whispers, but that night, it practically grabbed them both by the shoulders. As Zara moved through the crowd, trying to find the perfect angle for the lantern release, she bumped into someone, and her camera slipped from her hands. Before it could hit the ground, Aiden caught it with surprising speed, his reflexes sharper than he knew. Their eyes met, her breath hitched, his heartbeat stumbled. For the first time, their worlds stopped colliding and finally aligned. Zara thanked him with a smile that made Aiden forget every logical thought in his mind. He introduced himself, awkward but sincere, and she laughed, a soft, warm sound that felt like a sunrise breaking through clouds. They ended up watching the lanterns float upward together, standing close enough to feel the electricity of a connection forming between two strangers who somehow didn't feel like strangers at all. When Zara asked Aiden to write a wish for a lantern, he hesitated, admitting he didn't believe in wishes. She handed him a marker anyway, telling him that sometimes hope just needs a little push. He wrote a single line: "May I find what I didn't know I was searching for." He didn't realize until later that he already had. From that night on, their lives intertwined in slow, beautiful ways. Aiden began joining Zara on her morning photography walks, pretending he just needed fresh air but secretly loving the way she saw magic in ordinary places. Zara found herself fascinated by the precision in Aiden's world, how he could imagine whole structures before a foundation was even laid. They taught each other without trying. He taught her stability, she taught him freedom. Every shared conversation pulled another thread of connection tight between them. But love, no matter how strong, always gets tested. A few months into their growing relationship, Zara received an offer to travel abroad for a 6-month photography fellowship, her dream opportunity. The same night, Aiden's firm selected him to lead a major city project, something he'd worked toward his entire adult life. The happiness of their individual successes clashed with the fear of losing their newfound unity. Zara didn't want to hold Aiden back, Aiden didn't want her to abandon her dream. They tried pretending the distance wouldn't matter, but fear is a loud voice, and both of them heard it whispering doubts. One evening, under the same rooftop where Zara had captured sunrises long before she knew Aiden existed, they confronted the truth neither wanted to say: they were afraid of drifting apart. Tears formed in Zara's lashes. Aiden reached out, brushing them away with trembling fingers. "Love isn't about choosing one path over another," he said softly. "It's choosing to walk together even when the road splits." Zara leaned into him, realizing that love didn't demand sacrifice, it demanded trust. They agreed Zara would go on her fellowship and Aiden would accept his project, but they would remain united, no matter the distance. What followed was a season of late-night calls, shared photos, video breakfasts, and handwritten letters that traveled across continents. There were moments of loneliness, moments of missing each other so deeply it physically hurt, but never moments of doubt. The distance didn't weaken their bond, it strengthened it. And when Zara finally returned, stepping off the plane with her camera bag slung over her shoulder, she searched the crowd until she found Aiden holding a lantern like the one from the night they met. He lit it, handed it to her, and whispered, "My wish came true." She didn't say anything. She just threw her arms around him, knowing their love had proven itself. 2 weeks later, Aiden led her to the rooftop at sunrise, their rooftop, and showed her the blueprint of a house he had been designing quietly for months. "I'd like to build a life with you," he said. "Something strong, something beautiful, something united." Zara took the blueprint, her fingers trembling, tears streaming down her cheeks. She didn't need lanterns or wishes anymore. She had everything she had ever searched for. And together, hand in hand, they stepped into a future that wasn't perfect, but perfectly theirs, proof that when love is united by destiny, distance, time, and fear can't break it, they can only refine it.